That would be very interesting. All right.
Where you at?
I'm coming. Just getting supplies. Are you at the DP? Yeah.
Do you have recording software?
It's recording right now.
Oh, there we go. I love it.
Yep.
Now it can be natural.
You can be natural regardless. I'm used to it.
I'm a natty. Yeah, I'm a natty.
A lot of people get a little self-conscious when they hear their voice in a recording. It was like that.
I've had to learn to deal with it.
Yeah, it was like that for me at first, but you eventually get over it.
All right, shall we?
Let's go.
I just realized there's an entrance right here, by the way.
Does that go to the
Apparently.
same spot?
Yeah.
You're leaving it like that. No one's gonna check this letter.
Let me just put my equipment on.
I guarantee you. Okay. I don't even. Yeah, equipment. Guess that's the same.
Yeah, I went right.
Oh, give me a second. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, this is where it starts. Ah, that makes sense. Can't find my ring. Where's my ring? There it is. Let's hotkey it. Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna wake up.
So what I could do, what I could do here as well is I could stand actually one to the left. If I stand here, then you can actually wall just the bottom because if I get a full box of 3,
True. They won't come.
could be a good spot. And then you can just walk between the bottom to. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I was hunting there on my EK just a minute ago.
You got some fun topics for me? Or should I start us off?
Nah, you go on, eh?
Nico?
What's a fun topic?
I mean, we've covered most of the fun topics, but I guess we can go over them more in detail. There's some
Sure.
topics we've only covered very briefly. Wait, was it? Oh, shoot, maybe I should have spoken down. Wait, this is not our usual lap.
I think. No, because we started in the wrong spot. Now I'm getting all confused. That's right.
Well, any topic that is mysterious and almost unsolvable by science, but not quite unsolvable by science, is interesting to me. Alright, let's stop here. No. Get through.
That's right. Unsolvable by science. What is something that's unsolvable by science right now? I mean, there's lots of things, I suppose,
A
but
lot. But I'll tell you what's one that science doesn't have an answer for, but not necessarily forever.
just out of curiosity, is Tibia gonna be like in the videos? Is Tibia gonna be in the background?
Trivia channel. We just talk about random crap while playing Trivia.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just like it's gonna be so like unique.
That's also good.
Our audience is gonna be like nothing. You have to love Tibia and philosophical talks
And speak English.
and speak English. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because Tibia is like all Brazilian. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's mostly like, well, I mean, in North American servers at least, it's mostly like Brazilian and Mexican players. I mean,
I think I stop here, right? Normally.
yeah. Pull from this side. You can find something more maybe on the left, on the right side here. Yeah, this one. Yeah, one thing that's almost unsolvable by science is the nature of consciousness.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a
right.
line of thought that you can kind of take where it's not scientific, it's like purely in the realm of philosophy. But it's debatable whether or not.
Hey,
Let me through. Fine, just stand here. Yeah, I think I mentioned last time that there was this concept called the hard problem of consciousness that this Australian guy coined. I may have said in the 40s or 50s, but no, it was actually much more recent than that. It was in 1995 by a dude named Chalmers. Or
I doing what?
Chalmers, Chalmers. Chalmers. Or since he's Australian, I guess I shouldn't call him dude, I should call him mate. Keep going. Yeah, if you can get across the bridge. There you go.
Yeah, I got across.
There you go. Let's pull the rest of these. Yeah, he's like, as regards to consciousness, he's a philosopher, right? There are easy problems, such as the cognitive function of the brain and how it associates to different actions that we take and how it affects our thought processes, and to some extent, like, just the way we think. You can kind of look at which areas of the brain light up, which processes work when you do take certain actions and you think about different things. So that's something you can study. Therefore, the problem. Oh God, I got trapped.
You right?
Yeah, just tell me right here. So there are easy. This problem is easy because you can study it with science. You can kind of look at MRI scans of the brain and whatnot to study it and make observations. But then there's the hard problem, which is how the brain and the cognitive processes create subjective thoughts. So that is the images that you see in your brain, not just images, but like sounds, smells, taste, and touch, how all of these get created because of something that's tangible, like the brain. So essentially, you're creating intangibles with a tangible. This problem is much, much harder for science to solve because there are no almost like experimental ways you can go about like tackling this problem as of yet. And some would argue that you could never find experimental ways to verify this because there's this inherent gap between the physical and the subjective.
Yeah.
So I don't want to think that way. I mean, I used to think that way. You're like, okay, this is for sure in the realm of philosophy, because how could you ever get past this barrier? Everything has to go through your brain first before, it gets processed into an image. But he brought up a good point. He's like, maybe the way we begin to tackle this problem is by kind of associating consciousness with kind of the fundamental aspects of the universe. Like consciousness is simply fundamental, kind of like space and time are. We don't question why space and time exist, right? They just exist. They're axioms of the universe.
Is it like the laws?
Yeah, these are the
Laws we talked about?
Right.
These are the laws.
These are the laws. We don't quite question where they come from, because the moment you do, it kind of just like goes in circles. They exist because they exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't get broken down. It's not reductionist, so to say. So unlike things like gravity and matter and energy, you can kind of reduce them down to more fundamental terms, right? Gravity is produced by gravitational waves that's formed by energy and matter, and then matter is made up of molecules and atoms, and you can even break those down to like quarks and stuff. But space and time, you can't really break those down to anything. So he argues that one of the approaches you can go for in order to solve this problem in a scientific way is by viewing consciousness as something fundamental, something that you can't break down. So once you do that, all you have to do is kind of like find the laws governing this fundamental. So you can say space and time are fundamental to the universe, but you can still study them by saying, okay, look, you can connect space-time together. You can measure time. You can measure space. You can come up with a list of fundamental calculations and laws that kind of govern what space-time is.
Could this be another thing where, you know how we talked about yesterday, how like with quantum mechanics that we only know the state of an object when it's observed, right? When it's not observed, we don't know if it's up or down, for example.
Yeah.
Would you consider time being something like that too?
Well,
because I mean, does the existence of time does time actually exist if no one is measuring time?
That's a really good philosophical question.
because the concept of time is something that humans have created, right? And it only exists because we measure it.
Yes and no. They're kind of like schools of thought on this. Like I think the most widely accepted definition of time is just when you have two events and you correlate them on the temporal dimension, right? So first of all, you need two events. You can't have time when it's not relative to anything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as we understand it, yeah.
Yeah. So when you have two events, you can kind of compare them, and then you can arrive at like something that I guess we call time. I don't know. It's hard to say if humans invented time or if it's just fundamental.
Well, I don't know if it's an invention of time or if it's just a discovery of time.
Right. It could be a combination of both.
But I think, I don't know, the other way I look at it is I think we only partially understand what time actually is because we cannot physically like understand or comprehend or, you know, like when you see an object, it's just light reflecting from that particular object, which is why we can see them, right? But potentially time is just something that we cannot observe because we don't have the right tools or the right frequency or something to be able to observe time, except that we just know that it goes in one direction right now.
Right.
And it's like an aging process.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard for us to also understand why time would go back or forth, right? As in, like, what's the point? Because we live in a very linear progression. Like, what's the point of, like, for example, like working so hard, growing up, growing old, building family, all this stuff? If time is another dimension that can be manipulated back and forth.
Wow. Once you bring purpose into anything, everything gets a bit muddier. But yeah.
For sure. For sure. By the way, I'm pulling here because you can just wall the one side. It's just like the other.
Except when that happens, it's just coming through dying.
These damn idiots and just, yeah. Anyway. But that's an interesting thought, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Like, imagine if, what is the purpose? Because if we somehow discover that we can actually manipulate time, then why?
Well, what does it even mean to manipulate time? Like, if I go back in time, do I retain my memories? If I return my memories, why do I return my memories? Because I just went back in time.
But what is a memory?
No, I mean, like, do I retain my brain state? Why is it that my state of mind is the same even though everything else reversed in time? This is one of the problems I have with backwards time travel. There are many problems with backwards time travel, but one of the problems is, why is it that only you get to retain your brain state of mind, whereas everyone else, went back in time? Like, what technology allowed me to retain my memories? That's something that's strange to me about backwards time travel in particular. Forwards time travel, I mean, we've got kind of that nailed down.
But hang on, if you can travel back in time, but your mind stays in the state where it's basically in the future, but your body has physically traveled to a time that's in the past.
Mm-hmm. Well, not necessarily leaving your body, right? Because your brain is technically part of your
But
body.
then, yeah, how does memories work? Because memories is something you created over time, but now you've traveled back in time. But you've kept the memory.
Exactly.
So, in other words, your brain could not travel back in time. Only
Well,
your physical self can travel back in time.
and if it did, you didn't retain any of that. It seems everything is normal to you, even though you went back in time, because your brain literally went back in time with you, and nothing would have changed. Like, for example, if we went back 5 minutes ago, and we have our exact memories from 5 minutes ago, then we wouldn't know anything has changed. The reason I say this is muddy is because
You can run through
you can't
wall. Yeah.
whatever. You can't prove that we didn't just go back in time right now.
No, exactly.
What if we did and we didn't retain any of the memories, and we wouldn't know, right?
So would you say without memories, again, it's the whole the same thing of having no point of reference? If there's no point of reference, there would be no memories.
Pretty much, yeah.
So time and memories.
You need
What I'm
time
trying
for,
to say
you
is-
need time for everything, I feel like.
Right, time. You need time to have a point of reference, right? And you need a point of reference to understand what time is. But in order for you to have a memory, you also need to have a point of reference.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Everything's relative.
And if there's nothing that's relative,
I don't think there's anything that's not relative, yeah. You have to compare everything to something for it to make sense.
you're good. I think you can summon like a demon skeleton or something. You can show.
Just not used to playing that one.
Yeah, like an ice, we used to always summon blood crabs. That's really helpful because the books are slow as fuck.
Yeah.
But that's I don't know. I think thinking about time is very interesting.
It's
It only exists because we measure it, right? If there's no observer measuring time, then does time actually exist?
You can say that about anything. This is
What?
this is a I'm trying to remember the correct term for this kind of phenomenon. Right, because if there's no one there to look, this is one of the fundamental
Holy
concepts
shit.
of the
I'm lagging like hell, by the way. Oh, I'm back. I'm good. Well, I'm fine if you're here because you can see me. Because I'm not really too worried.
I've been healing you this whole time. Like your health.
No. That's why I'm not too worried. Oh, yeah, my thing's spiking just
Yeah.
300 points.
So yeah, the concept that you need an observer to understand anything, it's the fundamental concept of the anthropic principle, saying that anthro means human, that you need humans for things to exist. So without humans to observe the universe not only this is a very kind of extreme view of the anthropic principle because there are different versions of it, like the strong and weak anthropic principle. But the general concept is that the world around us doesn't exist if there's no one there to observe it. So this is equivalent to if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, then it actually doesn't make a sound because no one's there to hear it. So so it's not even just like practically it doesn't make a sound, because you can say that's true. In practice, it doesn't make a sound because there's no practical purpose of the sound. But it's not even saying that. It's just saying there's no sound at all, which is it's a very extreme view. And this concept, it's the realm of science, right? You can't falsify it, and therefore you can't test it. And if you can't test it, then it's not science. But it's interesting to think about sometimes. Like, are observers necessary for things to be what they are, or to exist at all? I've thought about this a lot, and I don't know.
In order for there to be memory, time must have passed. In order for there to be time, there must be a reference point. Without these two, you cannot create memories.
Right.
But time cannot exist. But you just think about like a fish, for example, a fish. Its universe is the lake or pond that it exists in. And it cannot comprehend anything beyond what that it can live in, I suppose you can say. I wonder if the way that the fish looks, out of the lake is kind of how we're looking into the universe now.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And we just don't have the capabilities of understanding the surroundings that exists outside of our universe, right?
Yes, that is.
And because I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who was saying how,
That is something.
if we were this fish, then and the aliens were looking at us going like, we don't even consider humans a threat, so that's why we just don't bother with them.
Yeah.
They're just looking at us like we're fish in the lake, and that's kind of cute.
Yeah, totally possible. I mean, not even possible. I think it's probable. Likely even. Because I don't think we dare claim that we understand most of what there is to understand about the universe. I don't think we can make that assertion right now. I love his quote where, it's a joke obviously, but he's like, the reason why aliens haven't visited us is because they flew their ship by us, they looked at Earth, they're like, there's no sign of intelligence here, let's pass on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Well, I mean, intelligence is all self-proclaimed and self-defined, right? Like humans have classified ourselves as the smartest being, and we are the peak of intelligence. Everything else is kind of inferior to us.
Yeah, we kind of define what intelligence is.
But it's kind of like what I told you before, right? Like it's like we're measuring it in a way that benefits humans the most. Like we get a really big advantage. But then if you look at basic living these days, you put an average human in a natural environment and they will pretty much die within a few days.
Hours, even, depending on the situation, yeah.
Yeah, we're just so weak. We have no capability of survival anymore.
Yeah, this is kind of like if you put like a chess genius next to an average person, and you say intelligence is defined by how well you can play chess. Well, okay, obviously one person is going to be more intelligent than the other. But then if you flip
Yeah.
things and be like, no, intelligence is defined by the way you play the violin, and then suddenly the chess player is no longer intelligent. So
Yeah.
that's why like our definition of intelligence suits what we do the most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I feel like the playing field is really rigged. Like we're not giving animals enough credit
exactly.
for what they do.
Because we're kind of measuring animal intelligence by the standards of human intelligence, and that's just not fair.
Is it better for me to stand here, or do you want me to stand in the middle? We can run around.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, not here is fine, because I can just do that and then attack. But they still slip by because you can't res. It's just one of them slipping by is not a big deal.
No, I think you need a wall in the middle rather than.
Oh, true, but then you might not get a full box if I do that.
No, but I already had a full box. Wall in the middle if it's a full box, I think.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, maybe I
Um,
shouldn't pull from, yeah. Because this pull is too weak then. So yeah.
Base time.
I would love to be alive at a point where they figure out the hard problem of consciousness. Or at least they come up with a framework for it. That would be spectacular. To link the subjective with the objective. It's so difficult, man.
But to what end? I suppose.
I don't know, scientific innovation. Or and discovery.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
But consciousness assumes that we are self-aware. We haven't been programmed.
Right. You kind of always have to make that assumption. Otherwise, like, what's the point of everything?
What is the point of anything?
That is the age-old philosophical question.
That's an unanswered question for sure.
I don't think that question can have an answer. Because, again...
Why?
Well, because to suggest purpose is to... Oh, God. Is to also suggest that there's a creator. There's someone greater than us assigning purpose. It was... what was that again? I think it's Neil deGrasse Tyson again. He was in an interview with Ben Shapiro, believe it or not. And
That's an interesting combo.
it is very interesting. And Shapiro brought up the concept of purpose or meaning. And then he's like, no, maybe not meaning, but rather purpose. What is the purpose of kind of existing? And Neil says, for him, it's not really about purpose. Like, purpose is not something you can simply find. Like, if you look in your drawer or you look under a rock, and you're like, oh yeah, that's where the purpose is. It's not. That's not what purpose should be for him. And I think I agree. Purpose is something that you kind of like create. It's not something that's like a fundamental aspect of existence. It's like a car essentially. You build it. And you build it kind of to your own design. Really? These guys not letting you through? Okay,
You can always run to the oh yeah.
sorry.
You can always run to the middle bridge and just wall yourself.
True, but then I can't wave.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like if you're really stuck, right, you can just do that.
Yeah. Alright. I'll do that.
I was raped. Maybe I'll use my rainbow necklace. Maybe it's better.
Yeah, you could, but most of the time I should be able to heal you. It's just there was kind of weird. Yeah, so purpose is something that you create to your own design. And I think that answer to what is the meaning of everything is a bit more...
Sphinx is free now, by the way. Should we switch?
It's free?
Yeah.
Did you message it?
No, he messaged me.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's switch.
Because then we can boost, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's head out.
Yep.
Okay, coming.
Yeah.
I might just restart my gunner. Let's type when I'm out. I'm just gonna restart my Tibia client because I'm lagging.
Okay. Yeah, it just feels more comforting to me that there is no grand design and ultimate purpose. That all purpose is created by the conscious beings who asked what purpose is.
Why does that give you comfort?
It's a freedom.
Because most people like to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, right? That's why religion does so well.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But for me, because I don't really subscribe to any religion, for me, I like the freedom. All right, it just means that I don't have to live my life a certain way, just because it's supposed, or quote unquote, supposed to be that way. I like knowing that no matter what I do, as long as I find happiness in it.
Oh shit! Can you split the loot and then I'll restart the party?
Oh yeah.
Potion, are you gonna boost?
You got an hour?
Yeah, why not? It's Friday night.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's Friday night.
I'll boost in there after we did a couple of posts.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, actually, I don't need to boost it. I got the weekly boost. I'll just work with that.
Well, there you go. Then
what do you think? Do you find more
what do you
comfort
think?
with a grand purpose, or do you think it should be created for yourself? Like what would make you happier?
Well, I think this is the tricky part, right? Because I think this universe has been designed where all things is balanced. Happiness, sadness,
Okay.
and what is emotion but a mixture of chemicals in our brain. Why do we feel happy when we do something, a certain thing? Why do we feel comfortable? Why do we have this instinctive need to want to procreate and have children and pass on our legacy? Like, why are we programmed this way? I mean, if you think about it, it's all just a bit of a cruel joke. Like, we live, we die, we create more versions of ourselves so we can continue living.
And dying.
But then life itself is actually quite a struggle for a lot of people. If you look at how the world lives, the majority is in somewhat poverty.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, it seems like the richest people are not necessarily the happiest of people. Everyone has their problems, right?
Yes. I think that might be... Sorry, finish your thought.
No, you go.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the whole, like, people not being happy even though they're rich, or there are a lot of people living in poverty, that might be a product of just society, of human society, of human... Or to reduce it further, it's a product of human intelligence. Because if you look to ants, right? We love talking about ants. I don't think most ants live in poverty. I don't think most ants are unhappy with what position they're in.
But then I don't think they have any sort of feeling. Like, did they feel happiness?
Right, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Did they feel a sense of purpose?
They don't have the kind of mental capacity to do that. This is why I said, like, to some extent, this is a product of our society and our intelligence as a whole.
But then is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
Because, for example, have you ever seen an ant suicide? No, probably.
Well, yeah, that they would have to be under brain control, but yeah. Oh, that's something. That's something really cool, by the way. It's super off topic, but
Yeah.
have you heard of the cordyceps fungus?
Nope.
It's they almost exclusively attack ants. So it's a type of fungus.
Let's boost now.
Yeah, okay. It's a type of fungus that almost exclusively attacks ants, and as far as I know, it's just ants, not even other insects. And so they release spores, and these spores, they create a chemical reaction in the ant's brain, and the ant kind of essentially becomes a zombie, and it loses all control of itself, brainless, and it starts kind of like it just stops being able to function normally, and eventually, what the cordyceps does is it forces the ant to go into a higher elevation, like on top of a tree or like a tree branch or something, where it's higher than the rest of the ant colony, where the fungus will kind of take over. It will grow all over the brain, all over the body, until it matures and it's able to release spores. And once it starts releasing spores, those spores will infect more ants, and that's how the cordyceps reproduces.
Why do they target ants?
Because ants, I don't know, it's just an easy target, I guess. Like, it's in a big colony, they typically live together, which makes cordyceps able to spread easier. I don't know, it's just fascinating. They have there's a video game based on that. Or TV show, Last of Us, is based on that. Have you seen the TV show, The Last of Us?
Last of Us, no.
Pedro Pascal. He did a good job.
Nah.
But yeah, so that's kind of the concept. Like, what the creator of The Last of Us did, Neil Druckmann, he took the concept of cordyceps attacking ants and he transferred it to humans. So now the fungus is attacking humans and creating mindless zombies, where eventually, once the human has kind of lived out its lifespan, it will seek a spot where it would be advantageous for the fungus to release spores to infect more humans and thus reproduce. It's like a natural virulent cycle. It's an interesting take on the zombie apocalypse, which is essentially what this what the game is, a zombie apocalypse. But there's a scientific explanation instead of just zombies. It's a cool concept. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I think I think all the topics is it's up for grabs.
Yeah. Oh, I think we were talking about.
Okay, we're talking about purpose, I think, and it's like, do you ever think an ant thinks about this kind of stuff? Like, does it have purpose?
No, I don't think an ant thinks at all. Really, it acts out of pure instinct.
But then why does it, like, what's the point of their instinct?
It's the same as all other living organisms, to grow, thrive, and reproduce.
But why? Why are we growing, thriving, and reproducing?
I don't know.
To what end?
It's a fundamental aspect. I think survival is a core.
Right, I know it is a core like value that everybody has.
Yeah.
But why? Why does it exist?
Yeah.
Because if you like everything good comes to an end, just like everything bad comes to an end.
Right.
But why have a beginning and an end to begin with?
In other words, why do things exist and not exist?
Yeah.
That's an age-old question, all right. And I
Because
don't think I can give you like a satisfactory answer.
we've existed all of 10,000 years, at least recorded history. But, and the universe is what, 13.7 billion years old?
Yep.
What makes us so special?
I don't think we're not special in the universe's eyes, but we are special in our own eyes, and I think that's what matters.
So,
Yeah,
self-approval
again,
is what?
yeah, again, this goes back to creating your own purpose, right? As opposed to being appointed one.
But then why do you need to have a purpose? Like a tree doesn't really have a purpose.
Right.
An ant doesn't really have a purpose. Majority of the living things in this planet has no purpose. Why do we need to have a purpose?
Why do we need to have a purpose? Yeah, that
Yeah.
probably goes back to human society. Like, it's a product of intelligence. Once you grow intelligent enough to become truly self-aware, you kind of want to live life the best way you can. And one of the ways that you can do that is by assigning purpose to it.
But I feel like a lot of people who realize like how the world works, they get really depressed.
Yes, because it's a very self-conscious thought. You can really spiral just thinking about it. Because it really requires a lot of self-reflection, right? And when you start doing that, it's we call this an existential crisis. Crisis. It's not even just depression.
Because I mean, other things maybe not as intellectual, but you know, the concept of suicide doesn't even exist for them. So is it better to have intelligence, or is it better to live a?
Oh,
We don't know.
is ignorance bliss?
I mean, that's where the saying comes from, right?
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like counterintuitive what we're doing as humans.
Well, I don't think I can give you an answer to that. At least not a satisfactory one. Because for me...
Because I mean, you find this often, right? Like you go to, it's this vicious cycle of, you know, if you come from a wealthy family, you've never really struggled a day in your life. Like when I say struggle, I mean you were never really hungry. You had a safe place to sleep. You had water at any time.
Right.
You know, it's just like everything's basically taken care of for you. But you're not happy. You're not satisfied. There's something missing in your life, and you're depressed. You have a lot of social pressures. You have all these issues, and you know, whereas you know I've been to extremely poor parts of Thailand, and people literally have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. But the people there, they're just so happy. They have no social pressures. They have, you know, they have nothing to worry about because they have nothing. They literally have nothing, and in a way, I think it's made them more relaxed
Give them a
because
more fulfilling life.
each day they feel a lot more fulfilled with a lot less, right? Because again, it's all perspective. The fact that they had, you know, food that day, they'd just be like, "Wow, this is like." I'm successful now, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas, like for us, we're almost like never satisfied in a strange way.
Yes, right. Yeah. The more you have, the more you want. And the more you
Yeah,
want...
and it's like a vicious cycle because like it's like those people who have money, but it's never enough, right? It's never enough. You can always make more money, and then unfortunately, because there's an infinite amount of money theoretically, you can never really be satisfied. But then is it better to have $1 million and not appreciate it, or have $100 and feel like you own the world, like you're just super grateful?
Yeah, this goes down to the philosophy of happiness. I don't have an easy answer for that. I would say whatever makes you happier. If money makes you happier, then so be it. But if it doesn't, then then obviously it's better to have nothing.
But I mean, it's very hard to really encapsulate that because there's no unit of measure for happiness, right? You can't compare, and happiness. There's so many different ways to define it, right? Some people say that it's a thing, it's a destination, but then I don't know. And now they're trying to reword it, saying that what do they call it? Happiness is a direction, not a destination.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Which is, I think it's quite cool. But then, for me, happiness is more about a state of mind. It's your, because anything can happen to you, right? And I think I told you this before, how if you take a really poor kid and you feed him a plate of broccoli, he's going to be super grateful because he's just happy the fact that he's got some goddamn food in his belly, right?
Right.
Whereas, like, a more well-off kid might say, well, actually, I've got options, right? And now I'm like, why do I have to eat broccoli when I could be eating ice cream, for example? And then the kid is depressed because they're like, well, I know I have options, so why are you giving me the shittiest one? Whereas the kid who has never had any option is just appreciative of everything that he's got. But then, is it because there's a choice that makes it depressing? Because they say choice is the root of all depression.
Whew. I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
Because every time you make a choice, there's an opportunity cost, right? If there was no choice, you'd feel a lot more content. Because you wouldn't think, well, what if I made that decision instead? What if? Then people wouldn't think what if anymore because there is no what if. There is no choice. You just get what you're given. Everyone's the same. And that's it. But it's kind of like when you're at the grocery store and you're just like, I don't know, like I've only got, I don't know, let's say $10 and I gotta buy food. And then you're just like, well, I could spend $10 getting junk food or I can spend $10 getting healthy food. And either way, you're gonna feel some sort of regret, right? If you spent it all on junk food, then you're like, well, I'm happy I got junk food, but the opportunity cost was my health.
Right. Let me go first on this one.
Then
It's easier.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just go. Just on this.
Yeah. And whereas if you had no choice and you wouldn't even be thinking about it, you'd just be like, yep, I got food in my belly, I'm happy. Because that's the purpose of eating food, right? Like, whether you're sad because you're not healthy or you're sad because you're not eating something tasty, there's always going to be this opportunity cost. And there's always this possibility for regret. Did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
Choice is the root of all evil.
Okay.
And I wouldn't call it evil. I would say it's what creates anxiety. It's what creates hesitation, right? Because if there's no choice, then you wouldn't be hesitant because there's only one thing to do. And sometimes having less of a choice is better for someone.
Oh, I don't know. That's a difficult mindset to adopt to because choice creates possibilities, and more possibilities should always be better.
Why?
Because it creates diversity. It creates, I don't know. I think more.
But how do you define something that's better? What is better?
Whatever's happy. Again, like whatever makes you happy, I guess.
But like happiness is a very like human concept, I think. Like I don't think dogs ever think of like any animals or insects. Like, do you think ants think about being happy?
Well,
I don't think so.
We're just talking about humans, right? Like, we're not talking about other animals right now.
But other animals have lived much longer in existence. We cohabitate the space. Right? Why is it only our feelings that matter? Why isn't the animals? Why isn't the insects? Oh, watch out.
One of them was almost dead. Okay, that's viewing it from a grander perspective.
Well, I mean, why are we just narrowing it to just human perspective?
Well, because right now we're talking about kind of like social science, right? So, human behavior, and I guess we could expand it to like all other living organisms, but that's like almost a different conversation. As far as when we only talk about humans, it's quite easy to quantify happiness, I would say. I mean, you probably couldn't assign like a scale of 1 to 100 on it, but
How do you quantify happiness?
I mean, I don't know. It's easy to say that you're happy when you're happy, because that's a very positive emotion that you can kind of say, yeah, I'm happy. That's the wrong spot. Yeah. So while you can't grade it on a scale of 1 to 100, you can very often say that I'm happy versus I'm not happy.
But it's like something that can change in a moment, right?
Yes. Emotions are
The emotion can literally change in a moment.
very fickle. Yeah. I don't think the concept of happiness is that complicated. It's just whatever makes you happy.
But why do everyone crave for happiness?
This is what you want. You want like a physical explanation.
Well, just why do we have the instinct to want to just be happy?
It's desirable. And then you're gonna ask, why is it desirable?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can just ask why forever until the end of the day, but it's interesting to think. I feel like it's a big. Sometimes I feel like it's a big scam, right? Like everyone's been convinced that they need to be happy all the time, but the reality is everything's balanced. There's never you never want too much of one thing. Just the same as you don't want too little of anything either.
Mm-hmm. All in moderation. Yeah.
Because is it good for you to have too much happiness?
I don't know. That's not something I've ever truly had.
You've never truly had happiness.
I've never truly had too much happiness. You know, I have my happy days, I have my sad days. I'm not constantly in a state of happiness. I don't think anyone is.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody is, yeah. And if they are, they're just lying to themselves.
Come stand next to me. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah. I'm not an expert on happiness, I'm sorry to say.
Don't worry, nobody is.
I can talk about the processes that lead to happiness. Like the physical processes.
Go on.
Well,
What are the physical processes that lead people to happiness? Because this is actually a genuine problem. I think a lot of the generation these days are not happy.
Oh no, I mean you talk about the physical processes, not the philosophical or emotional processes.
How do you differentiate the physical? Well, is that how you even categorize it, or what are you trying to say when you say physical?
Like the chemical. So the chemistry behind happiness. It's a combination.
If it's a chemical, could we not make this drug that we could just inject happiness in?
Yeah, it's called morphine.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen?
I've clearly never had.
Who are like
clearly.
Yeah.
But they were like fucking dopey as shit.
Yeah. But couldn't you call that happiness? It's clearly physical manifestation of happiness. Like they're smiling, they're laughing, they're like, they just seem like they're in another plane. People who are, dosed with morphine. The reason that this is a very, very regulated drug is it really just makes you go out of your mind.
Hang on. Why is something that okay? Everyone's chasing for happiness, and now you're telling me this is a drug that gives you happiness, and the government is regulating like crazy, so to make sure that people aren't too happy all the time. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it's not. I don't think they're regulating it because they don't want you to be happy. They're regulating it because it's dangerous. It's easy to overdose on morphine.
So then, okay, so see, here's the hypocrisy. Why is something that gives you so much happiness also the same thing that's going to kill you? Because this seems to be quite true for a lot of different aspects in this world, right?
You know what?
Like oxygen gives you life, but at the same time it slowly kills you, right?
Yes.
All the fast food tastes amazing, and then it also kills you. Why is everything that... Yeah, I know. It's just... It kills everything. It literally kills everything. And everything's fair game. But why? This is what I mean. Like, I feel like it's quite a poetic, tragic death living in this universe, because everything that seems to be good is very good at killing you.
I never thought of it that way before, but it's interesting.
Because like they make it good and it becomes addictive, and then you want more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, it shortens your life. Why?
Yeah.
What a dick! Whoever designed this was a dick.
Morphine essentially, when it comes to like a chemical process, it's dopamine overdose, or like rush of dopamine into your brain. And dopamine, you can say, is the happiness chemical. The more dopamine you get at a time, the happier you feel.
Can you really be too happy?
I guess so. I mean, there are plenty of people who have overdosed on morphine.
But isn't that sad? The thing that can give you guaranteed happiness is also the thing that can also kill you very quickly if you have too much of it.
Yep.
It's like nature's way of saying you shouldn't be too happy.
Yeah, I guess. That's one way to look at it. I mean, it's not just morphine that makes you happy. It's just a variety of chemicals that makes you happy. I think dopamine. Yeah, I think the best chemical for happiness is serotonin, which is it's more of a prolonged chemical for happiness. The more serotonin you get, the more happier you are as a state of life. So not just a temporary kind of like hit of dopamine. It's more like a lifestyle of happiness.
Do you think someone's sense of accomplishment correlates to their everyday happiness?
Yeah. Oh, did I just box it?
Oh shit.
Oh, it's Trolla.
Who's Troll? I reckon that's Troll. I think he's in Crossroads, right?
Boatwell.
Oh.
One of the leaders.
Who started Boatwell? God, that's a fucking large bit guild, isn't it?
It's huge, but they're only huge because they never kick anyone. I mean, they don't have nothing against that, but like, okay, let me put him. But
they never have any.
It's just kind of weird to me that they keep all of these super inactive characters in the guild for reasons. I don't know. I move to the left.
I think part of today's society is that people want instant gratification.
For sure, absolutely.
And I think part of that issue is that working hard for something is one of life's greatest gifts that you can get. And everybody wants to skip that right now and just go straight to the result. And I feel like that's what's actually causing a lot of the issues. Nobody wants to actually work hard anymore. Nobody has any sense of accomplishment.
I absolutely
It's
agree
like-
with that. Yeah.
If you train for a marathon, right, you're going to spend months in pain and agony just training, right? Because you can't just wake up tomorrow and decide I'm going to run a marathon if you're not a very good runner. You can't do it. But then that moment you cross the finish line and you actually complete the marathon, the sense of accomplishment is just absolutely incredible, right?
Right.
And everybody's missing out on that right now.
They're trying to skip it so that they can just get to that feeling, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. It's like the other people who work out and they look great, but there's no functionality.
Oh man, this if I can relate this to Tibia, oh my god. Do you know how many people have joined and left Crossroads over the years?
Heaps, I'm sure.
Hundreds. Literal hundreds. I couldn't even begin to count. We've recruited so many people, and so many people have left. Why?
Because they bought the characters.
Because there you go. They either bought their characters, or the other reason is the nostalgia passed from returning to the game, and then they're bored again and they quit. But yes, a majority of the times it's because they didn't have that sense of accomplishment from the game. They're like, oh look, I can buy a level 400 character and skip the grind. And you're just skipping the game.
Yeah.
You're literally paying not to play the game.
Yeah, that's the part I never understood with people like literally paying to not play.
So yeah, that goes back to skipping the hard work so that you can get to the end result.
But I think part of that's the best part of it about something is most of the time the journey.
Yes, for sure.
It's not actually the destination.
This is a philosophy that I think is lost on a lot of people, especially today's
That's
generation.
weird.
Instant gratification is too easy to get. You just open TikTok, bam, instant gratification, instant dopamine hit.
And that's the problem, is that I think the dopamine effect on social media is quite a lot, right?
It's quite
like
literally
so much so
toxic
that I
to the
think
brain.
Yeah, but there's nothing regulating it, which is a crazy thing.
There isn't, yeah. There's no regulation on social media use yet. Because the regulations that governments have placed on TikTok is not because of social media, it's because they're afraid that it's Chinese spyware. Canadian governments do it, American governments do it, you know.
I mean, as a whole, you think you trust your government, but you can't. I mean, look at Snowden when that happened. Holy shit!
Oh yeah,
the shitstorm that came with that.
I'm not much into politics, but man.
I mean, if you ever had trust issues, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, people have to understand that government is not a government. It's a group of people.
Yeah, they're just people. At the end of the day,
Everyone
they're just
is
people.
And people
And they're
are
all corrupt.
subject to the flaws of people.
Yep.
You can't just say, oh, this is a system. I mean, yes, it's a system, but it's a system made of people.
And unfortunately, most of the time, it's a very small group of people that control everything inside this organization.
Yeah, that's sad, man. I've been accused of running this guild kind of as a kind of like a singular opinion kind of thing, like where I make all the decisions, but I try not to do that. I don't
think you try at all. I think you're like, nobody knows who you are.
Exactly. I don't try to make the decisions for myself. What? Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. We went that far. You're going first, eh?
Yeah. And you just pull the ones I missed. Yeah. So I can just wall off for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Except I pulled everything down. Get them back.
I don't know. I think maybe I should go first because you pulled everything.
I
No,
think
because
it's
you
going to be
walked.
faster. If I'm faster, I'll have less on me, and then they go on to you.
Okay.
I'll try that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I remember that that quote I sent you a couple of weeks ago. Confucius, or so was it no, it was Lao Tzu.
What did you send me?
It's something I don't think you agree with. Is I'm trying to remember like exactly how it was phrased. A leader is most successful when people don't know that he's there. So when they succeed, they can say, "We did it ourselves."
Oh yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I like that philosophy, but I get when you say that a leader should be involved in in like kind of the motivational aspects of leading, right? But yeah, I think part of
If
it
you
is
take
that.
a look at Elon Musk, for example, he literally slept in the Tesla factory under his desk so everyone can see him. And he said that really like motivated everybody
Yeah,
because they're like, my boss isn't off somewhere in a tropical island drinking pina coladas. He's there with us in the grind of it, and they're just like, now we want to work so much harder.
that's one way you can view leadership. But again, another way you can view leadership is just not even knowing that there even is leadership. The leadership comes in the aspect that you kind of delegate your work in such a way where people just work more efficiently anyway without the motivation needed.
Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just disagree.
Yeah,
Um,
it's most likely down to a combination of these philosophies that creates the best leaders.
yeah.
Nothing is ever black and white, after all. Yeah. Okay. As I was saying, serotonin is a good way to get happiness, and the way you can build serotonin is by, like you said, hard work, and sometimes it takes as simple as something like just relaxing at the end of the day, or maybe even just going outside, taking a walk. This is why people say having a pet, having a dog, is very good for mental health. It's because it allows you that kind of period of time, especially if you have a dog, where you can go outside, walk for nothing other than just walk. Well, yeah.
Is that why Pokemon Go is so successful?
But Pokemon Go is not just serotonin. It's literally adding dopamine to that mix, right? Because the process of throwing the Pokeball and catching something and raising them, that's definitely outside of the purpose of taking the walk. So yeah, you can build that. Unfortunately, it's been shown that serotonin and dopamine have the same receptors in the brain, kind of like pathways. And you know that any increase in dosage of any of these things will lead to kind of a what's that effect again? Oh crap! I keep forgetting the word. It's not resistance. It's you know how when you take a drug too much, you build up a tolerance. That's the word. You build a tolerance for it. So when you get too much dopamine, it also affects your serotonin tolerance. So it's also harder to build that up. And this is why people who do a lot of drugs, getting that dopamine hit, are typically unhappier in life as well, because their serotonin tolerance has also been increased. that's kind of sad. To just know that every time you get an instant burst of happiness, it also affects your long-term happiness.
It's sad. That is sad. I think that's what's happening to me right now.
Maybe.
It's like I'll get these really big highs at work when like we win a tender or we complete a project or we just do something crazy, and then I get a big like kind of depressing spike afterwards. You know, like literally, I was just like that in the morning. I'll feel like, oh my god, I conquered the world, and then in the afternoon I'm just like, fuck my life. But maybe it's also just the life of an entrepreneur. It's just that you get a lot of issues thrown your way. Like in the morning you might have the best news, and then in the afternoon you're just like, shit, everything's gonna collapse.
Right. Nothing's ever constant.
No, and I think because I got my fingers in too many pies, it's definitely got its challenges trying to manage all these things.
Yep. Don't go too far with creating these new projects.
No, I can't help it though. It's like
Moderation.
Nah, but I'm always an all in or all out. Like if you told me to do 10 press ups a day, I'll be like, what? No. But if you challenge me to do 100 press ups a day, I'll do it. And I did do it. You know, I did it for 3 months straight until I injured myself.
Well, yeah, like anything in life, too much of something is never good. Even if it's too much happiness, like we said.
Yeah, too much happiness will cause death. But it's just not very marketable if you say it like that.
Yeah. That's a good topic. I like this topic. The philosophy of happiness. Although there are few topics of philosophy that I don't enjoy. So.
What philosophy topics do you not enjoy?
Very few. I don't know. You have to talk about them first.
Yeah, but I feel like this is philosophy. How can we talk about them if you don't know what they are?
Well, we might stumble upon a topic one of these days.
Right. So you're saying that until we observe it, you don't know if you hate it or like it.
Schrodinger's philosophy. Yeah, there you go. Or no, that's not what Schrodinger is. Until we observe it, it's both liked and unliked at the same time.
Is it called? Is the right term superposition? Is that what they said?
Superposition, correct. Yeah, it's a state of multiple contradictory things at once.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I was looking. Well, I don't know if we should jump right into the quantum stuff, but I was.
I think all of this, most of it's audio, right? So you can just edit whatever you want.
But I won't.
Oh shit! When did you go first?
It's gonna be unedited and unadulterated. Yeah, there are two main schools of thought on that particular thing, like the superposition. One of them is the Copenhagen interpretation, which deals with, actually this might be one of the more accepted solutions, which deals with probability wave functions. Everything is a probability wave function, so everything is down to chance before it's observed or measured. When I flip a coin, the coin, before the coin shows me heads or tails, the coin is both heads and tails at the same time. It's in the superposition of heads and tails. It's only after we observe so you can blindfold yourself and flip a coin. Even if the coin lands, it is still in a superposition of both heads and tails. So
Until it's observed.
until somebody takes off the blindfold, you take off the blindfold and be like, okay, that's heads. Then the tails probability wave, the tails probability collapses, and you're left with heads. That's the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum, this solution to a quantum event, which basically are all events. All events are quantum events, essentially. Vastly unsettling to me. That before something happens.
That if the event happens, it exists in both states until there's someone who observes it.
Yeah, until a conscious being observes it. But this is the crux of quantum mechanics, right? It's been studied, it's been observed, it's been calculated. It's been reproduced. That's the thing that makes it unsettling, because it's not even philosophical. You can show it through experimentation. I don't know how they show it through, but you can do it. So that's one interpretation, and the other one is the many worlds hypothesis, which says that every time a quantum event happens, a new world is created, and the reality branches off into the past that happened. So there are like an infinite number of universes where every single time anything changes, a new universe is created that branches off into all the possibilities.
But how does it know that it's changed versus it's just supposed to happen that way?
Well, it involves observation.
Yeah, but then you're observing. Why do you get to be the judge?
I don't know.
To say that I've observed this. This is wrong.
That's
or this is diverged from the original truth.
Yeah, that's
who gets to decide what the truth is?
I mean, something called the measurement problem. You can't ever know what the truth is until you measure it. And it is a very difficult problem to solve. But hey, there are people who are very smart working on the problem, so I have faith in them. I like the Copenhagen interpretation a bit more. It's unsettling, but it's I think it's more feasible than many words. This is another theory, like pilot wave theory or something. I don't quite understand. Ooh, yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Alright.
I just peeked in there and there's like a bunch of them in the hallway.
Should we just run in and just kill it?
Nah, I pulled most of them.
Good.
Okay, well. That's I don't know, quantum mechanics. The math behind it is so wacky, man.
What is when we talked about string theory the other day, you know how they had to invent like 6 other dimensions for it to work?
Yeah.
What do the 6 other dimensions look like?
I have no idea. It's 11.
Like how did math prove that there was, like, why did they have to make these dimensions up for it to work? Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
apparently
really confused.
for string theory to work, you just need 11 dimensions. Whatever
Yeah, but
dimensions are.
What does that even mean though? Like what does 11 dimensions mean?
You got me. I've never studied it. Maybe we should look into it. Well, I'm sure it just gets very technical and mathematical. It will interest the majority of people.
Yeah, no, because like if you think about,
We have an
whoa,
audience.
goodness, we do.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
Just hunting.
good.
Nice. Guys doing bestiary or actually hunting?
Actual hunting
We're hunting.
and bestiary.
Oh, nice.
The thing's broken. Rapid respawn's broken.
Yeah, rapid response.
Broken how?
It's not working.
It's not working.
There's no
Oh,
rapid.
really?
There's no rapid. Yeah, people are
Yeah, they
complaining.
forgot to activate it.
Oh, sounds like shitsoft.
It does. We're talking about
Not too cool.
we're talking about quantum physics. If you want to weigh in, sorry to be like so abrupt, but
Sure. Let's go.
yeah. What's your understanding of quantum physics?
That is a quantum version of physics.
I mean, this is true.
What do you guys think about quantum entanglement?
It's very mysterious.
Some might say it's spooky.
Yeah. It's absolutely unintuitive, but it works. That's all I can say.
Interesting.
It's like saying
What? Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's a good real world example because there really isn't any real world examples of something that's unintuitive but works. But
How about your mom? No, kidding.
no, Buck's mom, not my mom.
I don't want to hear about mom's bus.
So why the sudden interest in quantum physics?
Oh, we're just talking about random things.
Ah,
Quantum physics is just a thing that gets brought up. Oh crap, that's the wrong phone number. No.
you wanna know something that's funny?
What's that?
My actual next door neighbor that moved in 2 months ago, he's a lecturer at Oxford University for quantum computing.
Oh,
Really?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, quantum computers work because quantum entanglement works.
Mm.
That's why I say like it's practical. It's not just theoretical.
Yeah?
It's wild, huh?
No, it is. Like, when you think about physics, it's actually very fucked. The fact that everything makes sense until it doesn't.
Yeah, but even if it doesn't make sense, it still works. That's
Yeah.
that's the crazy part. Like how the human understanding of things just starts breaking down, and yet you can still show it to be true in the real world. That's what makes quantum physics so weird and interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you?
Are you guys getting lagged now, by the way, by any chance?
I'm not.
I
I'm in
was
random
before.
space.
I'm not lagging at all. I'm good.
Huh, fair enough. Yeah, sorry, as you were saying, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. What do you think of the double slit experiment? Have you
So-
looked into it?
Okay, so what are you asking me about the double slit experiment? What do you mean by what do I think about it?
Like, do you think? I don't know. Do you think it's just mysterious in a way?
I mean, it makes sense to an extent, because, like, you know how they say the speed of light? There's also something called the speed of shadow. I don't know if you
The speed of
have
dark,
really
yeah,
looked into
yeah.
it, or if
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you put two shadows close enough to each other, they will automatically join,
Right.
if it makes sense.
Yeah. Good.
That shit blows my mind.
Well, I mean, that's explainable, right? Because all shadows. Okay, we're gonna get a little technical. All shadows or all darkness, really, that involves light as well, has has an umbra. That's the part that's covered by the whatever is obscuring the light, and it has a penumbra, which is the part that's partially obscured by the object covering the light. And the reason when you move two shadows close to each other, they join, is because their penumbras join. And when two partials join, they make up a whole, and that's why they kind of create the perfect shadow. Like when you, let's say, I don't know, you put two fingers together next to a light, and then you look at the shadow. As you slowly join your fingers, like they seem to like, it creates a little bulge, and then they join together, kind of like, I don't know how to put it. that's
Yeah, no, I get the thing.
yeah, that's just the penumbras of your two fingers creating an umbra. That makes sense.
But isn't an Umbra just two shadows cast? Like, just... So if you think about it, like, from an Eclipse point of view, like, the Umbra and the Penumbra are just two separate shadows cast from the same light source, no?
Well, shadows is a gradient. It's not like suddenly there's light here and then there's darkness there. It's more of a there's light here and then it gradually turns into darkness. It's like so it goes from essentially black to shades of gray and then to white. But it's not really gray. It's just it's just like different types of darkness.
See, that I don't agree with, because a shadow is just a lack of light. So if there's light emitting on an object, it will be bright, right? And then behind the object, you'll see like a shadow. That's due to a lack of light.
Yes.
And the reason why it molds around it is called the Coanda effect. Do you know what the Coanda effect is?
What?
The Coanda effect.
Coanda? Sounds
Yeah.
familiar, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Alright, so the best way to explain it is, if you have a spoon and you turn the sink on and you put the spoon upside down underneath the sink, you will see water will go around the top of it and come to the bottom of it. You'll still get wet. So that the Coanda effect is basically how an object sticks to another object. That's all it is, right? So when lights are going around an object, it will warp around it in a sense, and it will create a shadow. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
no?
I think it does. I don't know. I think the water thing is just because of surface tension.
Yeah, that's called the Coanda effect, yeah. So the water basically sticks to the object.
Okay. Yeah. So that will work for small amounts of water, but when you bring in more water, then it won't stick as much because surface tension only applies when there's like, well, it's only like you can only notice it when there's very little water comparatively. I don't know.
I mean, it all depends on whether it's a turbulent flow or if there's boundary layer, if the boundary layer breaks. You know, there's loads of factors that's involved into it. But yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So the reason, like when an object casts a shadow, it's not just like there's light where there is no shadow, and then there's darkness where there is a shadow. There are types of shadows, because at the edges of the shadow, if you look at let's say you cast a square onto a wall. On the edges of the square, it doesn't just go from shadow to no shadow. It goes from light to penumbra to umbra. So and that penumbra part is the part where it's half shadow, half light essentially. It's not exactly 50-50, but it's essentially that way.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then when you put two, let's say you introduce a second square and you start kind of moving it towards the first square. As the edges touch, the penumbras touch, and as the 50% shadow touches another 50% shadow, it creates a 100% shadow, and that's why they seem like they're just fusing in a way.
Okay. So now coming back to your double slit experiment.
Yeah.
Since there's only one light source and there's two slits, it would make sense for them to warp around each other, no? And then when it's brightest, where the points meet, it will, like, you should be able to see the light source, so...
Well,
I mean, it makes sense in my head.
the double slit experiment is not technically testing for light and shadows. They're literally shooting individual photons, or electrons in this case, because I think they did it with gold particles. Gold particles too, as one of the experiments. And what they find is that if you shoot electrons through a single slit, then let's say the slit is a vertical slit, right? If you shoot it through there, you'll find like a vertical pattern on the wall behind it. So that's a single slit, and it makes sense. You know, it's going through the slit. It's doing that. However, if you shoot it through two slits, rectangular, you won't necessarily find two kind of patterns on the wall behind you. You will instead find an interference pattern. And that's what's kind of mind-boggling, right? When they first perform the experiment, because the expected result is that you find two patterns on the wall, but instead you find an interference pattern, which is it's essentially you have parts of it that's brighter, parts of it that's darker. That's caused by the constructive and destructive interference. You remember your high school physics. So that's weird. Because why is it that I'm shooting particles at two slits? Why is it creating an interference pattern as if I'm shooting a wave through the slits? Because let's say I'm moving water through the two slits, and the water goes through and it creates a wave-like effect, right? And then as the waves interfere with each other, obviously on the back you're gonna get an interference effect. That just makes sense. If you perform this with water, you'll see. Then you get this effect. But there's no reason why it should produce that effect when I use particles. This goes back to...
My question to you is, what do you do for a living, bro?
I'm a retail associate.
Oh, you work in retail?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm assuming you study then?
I learned this stuff, yeah.
Okay, I mean, are you currently at university or anything like that? College?
Yeah, I did a bit of it in school, but mostly self-taught.
Okay, because you seem to have a lot of knowledge on this subject. I'm surprised you're not working like in the STEM role.
Nah, this is just curiosity.
Yeah, but that sparks everything, you know?
It's true, yeah. Yeah, so going back to it, do you know the concept that light is kind of seen as both a wave and a particle?
You see, I remember touching up on this at university, but that was like 6 years ago, so I'm not going to say yes.
Okay, so you... Oh, Eli, where'd you go?
I was trapping.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay.
Do you know how... Okay, so... Oh, crap, now I'm trapping.
You guys hunting?
Come down.
I love
Can you come down?
Yeah, I'm moving.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing Sphinx in Asabi.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's a nice dual spot. Yeah, so you know how sound is a wave.
Yep.
Sound waves. And
Yep.
sound and waves can't travel without a medium. In other words, if you send sound through space, no one can hear it. No one can hear you scream in space. Yeah. So
Okay.
this means that waves require something to traverse through, to propagate through. If you have nothing to propagate through, the waves can't do anything. It essentially doesn't exist. This is why, when you scream in space, no one can hear it. But
unless it's Johnny Sins, then everybody hears it. Sorry, carry on.
But if you assume that light is a wave, as we kind of established through the double slit experiment, because it's creating an interference pattern, which means it's exhibiting wave-like tendencies, so to say. How is it that light can travel through space? Why is light able to go from the sun to the earth and we'll be able to see that light? So clearly, light is not a wave.
It's not. It's photons.
But the thing is, it acts like a wave. When you send it through the double slits, it creates an interference pattern, which only waves do. No other thing that we know of.
Hang on, I need to Google this. Give me 1 second, bro, because you're fucking in my mind right now. Double slits.
This is one of the most fascinating experiments science has ever conducted, I feel like. Outside of like quantum
Double
stuff.
slits. Demonstrates that light and matter can satisfy the seemingly what the fuck is that? Incongruous classical definitions of both waves and what? What the fuck is incongruous? I want to Google that word. Hang on. Define incongruous. Not in harmony or keeping with the surrounding or other aspects of something. Interesting.
Right.
So it doesn't keep all the surroundings. Okay.
Because I mean, back when I forget.
Sorry, I'm trapped.
Oh, where are you?
On the right. I'm fine.
You went in there. I'm just gonna stand.
I normally run in just to poke my head in, but
yeah. This.
Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah, whenever you want. Yeah, because normally things are either a particle or a wave.
Hmm.
But through this double slit experiment, they showed that something can in fact be
Hang on.
both.
Hang on. You just said it's either a particle or a wave, right? But aren't waves just particles of frequency?
No, waves are continuous.
No?
Particles are discrete.
Yeah.
Waves are continuous.
Yes, but if a particle has a frequency to it, then it becomes a wave, no?
No, I don't know, because let's say, well, particles. This is where particles are really weird, right? Like, let's scale it up to, let's say, I don't know, sand. You can't make a like a wave interference pattern with sand. You can shoot sand pellets through double slits all day. You're never going to get an interference pattern. Or maybe you could, but it requires some. Actually, I don't think you can, because this stuff only happens on like a quantum scale.
Okay.
And
Give me like 10 minutes. I found like this video. I just want to quickly watch on a double slit experiment. I'm going to get back to you because then I'll actually have answers.
oh no, I mean I can explain it to you. That's the thing.
You can what?
I can explain it to you, like what double slit experiment is doing. But yeah,
Sure,
it's
okay, go.
It's probably easier if you do it in video, but because my understanding.
The thing is, right? I done this shit at university, so I remember the equations and why we used equations, but I don't remember the shit that you're talking about because it's been such a long time. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It essentially shows that's not even the craziest part. The craziest part isn't that, okay, light behaves both as a particle and a wave. That's fine. But the weirdest thing is, if we try to measure it. So what they did was they set up kind of like an observation device. Let's say it's a camera. They set up a camera at the double slits so that they can see what the hell is the light doing. What are the individual photons they're sending through? What are they doing to create an interference pattern? Because logic dictates that if you send individual photons, you're just going to create the pattern of the slits. You're not creating the interference pattern.
Are we getting out here, by the way, or are we gonna go out when we go upstairs?
Are we done? Oh yeah. Oh wait, why did I? Oh crap! Because I activated the boost.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to. I forgot.
Oh no.
Are you done though?
The double slit turned to double XP real quick.
Yeah, I need to sleep, man.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
Doesn't
falling
matter.
asleep.
Doesn't matter. I'll just
What's the time in New Zealand?
1:15.
AM?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
yeah. Okay.
This is the midnight hunts.
Right.
So wait, is it Friday there now?
It's Saturday.
Saturday technically. Yeah.
Oh, it's Saturday. So you guys are literally 11 hours ahead of the UK. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. 17 hours.
No, 13 hours ahead. 13 hours ahead of us. Sorry.
I think 18 hours ahead of me in Canada.
Oh shit. I mean, you guys are 5 hours behind. Oh. You guys are about 6 hours behind us. Is it like 6 a.m. there now?
For me, 7.
In Canada?
7.
7. Okay. Yeah, you're 5 hours behind me.
Yep.
It's noon here.
Also, you live in the UK.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you play on a European server then?
I used to play Sekiro. I played Sekiro since 2009, and then Sleepy Spot transferred here to play with Menike because all of our team retired and sold their characters.
I'll pick it up.
I was on like a 2-year break, and then Sleepy basically told me that he's playing here, so I transferred my druid over, and then I looted the egg and decided to stay.
There you go.
Yeah, plus like Crossroads, like the people in the guild are really fucking good, you know. You ask for like help with a quest or anything, everyone's willing to help you out and all that shit, so it's good.
We do have a great community here, so.
Yeah, for sure better than Sekiro.
I can't speak for Sekiro.
I mean, you guys have quite a few Brazilians here. We had all the Polacks, and trust me, I'd rather deal with Brazilians than Polacks.
Oh yeah. I don't.
They're for fucking sure, bro. Jesus Christ. They made me hate the fucking game.
I wouldn't know about that, but I'll take your word for it.
Did you split the first loop, by the way?
Yep, I will. I'll do the bot thing. So
Yeah.
just split this one, and I did. The
Yeah, I did.
I'm just gonna hit up Droom real
So
quick.
when are we doing Stalwart bosses?
Soul War? I'm far from that, man.
Dude, come on, there's still 300s are doing it.
Yeah, because they're being carried by level like 1500, 2000s. I've never done.
I mean, we have a Captain Cold.
Yeah, we do probably.
We also have Goya. Yeah, we have plenty of level 700 pluses. Like, I'm fairly certain we could do them. Maybe not with all 5 fucking taints, but we can do like one boss and then do that. Like, we could basically farm the shit out of one boss guaranteed.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and this way we can still have a fucking fairly decent chance at getting a fucking soul item because of the baggy desire shitty drop.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll wait for Adrian to organize it because I'm no good at it.
You're level 900, right?
Yeah.
What was your VOC? Was it ED?
Edie.
ED, okay.
Edie.
Captain Oak is 700 EK. Goya is 827, I think, now EK. So I can literally get together a fairly high team. Whether I'm a part of it or not is your choice, but I can get you guys the guys, you know?
Yeah.
But that being said, before all that shit, can we please sort out like magma bubble access? Because I know you guys have done it already, so it should be easy for you guys.
Wait, sort out what? Sorry.
Magma bubble.
Oh, okay. You don't have access yet?
No, I don't know what the quest is called. I can check.
It's called what is it called? Primal Ordeal, I think.
Yeah, Primal Ordeal.
Primordial. No, Primal Ordeal. Okay,
Yeah.
quest.
I think it's a play on words.
I just
Yep.
got to do the boss and I'm done actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it. I haven't even started that quest.
It's not that hard. Only one part of it is requires you to actually kill anything. But the rest of the quest is pretty straightforward and easy.
Alright, boys. I'm gonna bed, eh? I'll see you
Good
tomorrow.
night, bro.
Yeah, good talk. Good
See
hunt.
ya.
Good night, guys.
See
I
ya.
had like 40
night.
arrows left. That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good night. Bye.
Oh no.